Welcome to spring. So spring is immediately after winter. It's when you finished your bleed. And if we think about what's happening in nature always, and it's reflected back into us. So what's happening in nature? And think of those lambs when they're born. And at first they're like tentatively like coming out. And they're going to their mother for nourishment and nurturing. And then a little while later, they're like bounding around the place and having lots of fun and having playtime, and they're really finding their feet. And that's what our energy is like. That's what we're like when we're coming out of menstruation, when you are aware of it and when you become aware of it. Because we're after this letting go time of turning inwards and of darkness and letting go. And we'll talk about that more in winter. And then we're coming out into spring. And there's this sense of lightness and hope and potentiality, right? And if you've heard anything about the menstrual cycle before, you may or may not know that it's a time to be creative. I like to look at this in terms of, yes, it is a time to be creative, and absolutely we want to tune in. But sometimes we're so busy coming back out and being all things to all people and, allowing everything else to come in that that may not even get a look in. So I was talking to a woman the other day, and she's like, everything else gets done except the things that I really, really want to do. And what is it? And yes, there's some musts that need to be done, sure. But if that's happening like every month all the time, then this is a great time to actually go, okay, but this month in my spring, I am really going to start satisfying my soul. And I can do this now every month, right? You could put in like one day a month where you're like, I just really want to, it could be anything. Like at the moment, I'm just started to learn to play the guitar. I won't put that on you yet. Ask me in a few months' time. It might be painting. It might be just going and playing on the trampoline. It can be whatever makes your heart sing, and it might be singing or dancing. It is usually some creative endeavor, and creative can mean anything to you. It can be going out into your garden, or it could be decorating your room, putting beautiful color into it. And so I always think of spring as that time where, one, yes, I want to nourish and nurture myself, and it is about choosing foods that you're coming out of winter and you're lightening your food, you're nourishing yourself again, you're building up your cells as well, right? This is an important part of it as well. But it's also about nourishing your soul and doing things that you really want to do. And in both connect back to yourself and in radiating wisdom and in the word work I do with women, this is about creating rhythm so that you can find the time to do that. Because we all know this, right? Like everything else will come in and get done, all the external things, maybe it's family things, maybe it's like we have people dependent on us. But if every month that comes around over and over again, and the thing that really that like, oh my God, I would love to have the time to like, I don't know, upholster your armchair or whatever it is. And yet again, it's that like, oh, I don't know where the time went. And this, so you can actually like literally go, okay, this month I'm going to come out really slowly. I have a tendency of coming out of my menstruation really quickly. So I have to really contain my energy. Otherwise I'll have burnt myself out by the time I come to summer, right? So it's so beautiful once you get to know your own tendencies and rhythms and invite in rhythm. So how can you invite in rhythm? What is it that you want to do every morning actually that nourishes your soul? Like 2 to 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That just allows you to go, what's important to me today? So I hope this gives you a feel about your energy in spring. It's a time to be very tender to yourself, to be very kind to yourself, and also allowing yourself to play and explore and experiment and feed that and know that potentiality that you have. And you can sow the seeds of that here in spring. And then we're going to summer. So I look forward to seeing you in summer. Have fun. Have fun with exploring this in your next cycle. Or maybe it's going to be in a few days' time. Okay, see you in summer.